Welcome back. Episode 5 of the Momentous podcast. About the time that I almost moved to China. That's right. I almost moved to Shenzhen. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But what's up, guys? Josh here, Momentum Productions. That's right. If you're just watching this video for the first time or watching my podcast for the first time, I started a podcast. Oh, yeah. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the soothing sounds of momentum. I hope you enjoyed that. Back in college days, I'm recording, right? Yes, I am. Good. Back in my college days, 2013, I bought the Mavic Pro, the original Mavic Pro. And I also, that was my first drone my first drone was actually the Inspire one from DJI. The Mavic came after that. And along with the Steadicam and GlideCam videos that became popular on my channel, so did the drone tutorial videos that I started creating. Because drones were advancing at a rapid pace back in like 2013, 2014, thanks to DJI. Because DJI was pushing for drone technology like no other. And at the time, back in like 2013, 2014, DJI had an internship program. And part of the plan for this internship was, if you get accepted, they move you into a dorm in China, living right next to the DJI factory, DJI headquarters. Now, unfortunately, they don't run this internship anymore. But as soon as I found out about this internship, I was so freaking excited. This was supposed to jumpstart a new thing for me. I get to live in another country, experience different culture, work and learn from a company that I absolutely love. Man, so good. So of course, as soon as they release this program, I instantly reply. I have this lovely lady respond to me via email from China. Her English, first of all, I just want to, if you're Chinese, if you're living in China right now, you guys have an unbelievable schooling system. You guys know English better than any other foreign country every single Chinese person that I've talked to, any Chinese company that I've worked with, their English has been phenomenal. There's rarely the case where there is any translation error or anything like that. So I applaud you, China, for learning English at an incredible... I just don't know how you guys do it. And surprisingly also, I think it's mandatory in China for people to learn Russian. And I'm bilingual. My second language is also Russian. So a shout out to Frank from Ziyun. His father is a professor and teaches Russian in China. So that was like, Frank, if you're watching this, the small chance that you're watching this video, man, this podcast, man, dedicated to you. But anyway, regardless, back to DJI and the internship program. So this lovely lady from China emails me and says that, Josh, you've been one of the few applicants chosen to move to the next interview step for this DJI internship program. And I can't sleep. I'm so freaking excited. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm moving to China. That's it. If they chose me to go to the second step, that's already, okay, I'm hired for this internship. I got so confident. So the next step was to fill out a questionnaire with detailed responses. Like I'm talking about, these were essay questions. So I had my brother at the time My brother helped me answer these questions, and it was literally, I think it was 5 or 6 questions. Each of these questions required a very detailed response. These were not easy questions. I wish I remembered what these questions were. I probably have it saved somewhere on my computer, but these were very intense questions about my life, about my goals, about what I would do for DJI if I were to get hired for their internship program. And by the way, their internship program would guarantee you working for DJI. So that was just like a win-win situation for me. Man, reminiscing on this is amazing. Okay, so I did this questionnaire, essay questions. This was like college question status, basically. So I filled out the questionnaire. It was about 3 pages that I filled out, answering all these questions. I sent it to them, and then this lovely lady reaches. I keep saying lovely lady, right? This lady reaches out to me. The same lady as before reaches out to me via email, and she says, "Okay, we loved your answers. Let's move on to stage 3. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, shoot. When are they sending me a ticket to fly to China? Oh, my God. I'm getting hired for this. No problem. So the next step was for the manager of this internship program to reach out to me and talk to me over the phone. An American dude. I could tell by his accent. He was 100% American. He reaches out to me and he does an over-the-phone interview with me. He starts asking me all these basic questions. They were very boring, uninteresting, questions that I've been asked in college, preparing me for job interviews. So it was just like basic. I'll never forget this. He then asked me a question, and this is what the question was. And if you guys, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer, but this question is what dictated whether or not DJI would hire me for this internship. And I'll explain a little bit later. But here's what the question was. I'm trying to paraphrase this as to the best of my ability as possible. So the question was, let's say you get hired, and your boss asks you to get a special gift for an event or to buy something for an event. You're doing your boss a favor. So he or she asks you to go out and buy something. Now, only one particular store has this item. No other person makes this item. No other store carries this item. Let's say you get to the store and the store is closed. What do you do? My first response was, I would make the item myself. Then he replies with, you can't make this item. So I said, okay, I'll go back to my boss, to my manager, and tell them I can't get this item. That answer cost me the internship for DJI. If you know why, please say so in the comments. That response that I said cost me my internship for DJI. I remember after that question, he said, Josh, we like you, but we just don't think you're a great fit for this. I wish I remembered the dude's name, because if he saw me now, what a shitty interviewer. That guy should have been fired. It was a very stupid psychological question that kind of trapped me. Now, I went back home. I talked to my brother about this because my brother was a psychology major. He's a public speaker professionally, so he deals with these types of questions and stuff like that. So I asked him the same question. I was like, okay, this is what the interviewer asked me. Jacob, how would you respond? And he said, well, I would have responded the way you responded, but I would also have a second response, and that would be to call the owner of the store and do whatever it takes to get that item. I also thought in my head, I was like, what if I would have just robbed the store and get that item anyway? Would that be the proper response? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's just a very weird question to ask. It's a psychological question in a sense where they were trying to judge me on how devoted I am to do something for my boss. That's what this question was, trying to get out of me. They were trying to gauge how devoted I was to work for my boss. Like, how stupid is that, man? So you want me to resort to either robbing the store or finding out where the boss lives or the boss's phone number, calling them up and just being like, hey, open the store for me so I can get this item. I did the noble thing and I responded with, hey, I'm going to go back to the manager or my boss and say, I can't get the item. The store is closed. That's the noble, honest thing to do. You accept defeat and you present that to your boss. My brother responded. He said, yeah, that is the correct answer. But I would have also said, I would have reached out to the owner of the store. So it's just dumb. Now, for those of you who do a lot of interviews, you probably have come across a similar question. So let me know in the comment section what you would have responded with. But that's what cost me my internship with DJI. Do you know how many hours it took me to fill out that questionnaire that turned into like a 3 or 4 page essay? Like, it took so much mental energy. That bastard. I wish I remembered who that dude was, that American dude that interviewed me. Because that lady that was based in China sending me all the emails and all of this stuff, she was loving everything that I was sending her. Like the questionnaire, everything. Then comes along this dude, all right, outside of DJI headquarters, interviews me and rejects me. Only people who are watching this and not just listening to this know what I just said. So if you ever come across a special opportunity like this and the interviewer asks you this question, be prepared to hypothetically break the law and say you're willing to break into the store, get this item and bring it to your boss, or track down the owner of the store or the item and find a way to get it. It's just so dumb. But yeah, that's my story down memory lane about how I would have, if they would have hired me, I would have been living in China and my whole entire career would have been different. Everything would have been completely different. But I'm a spiritual dude. I think everything happens for a reason. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think that it was just a stupid way to judge my personality. But ever since that happened, I actually, even though I didn't make the internship program, they introduced me to this guy named Basil. I think he's the VP of marketing, if I'm not mistaken, of DJI right now. French dude. And we teamed up together. He said he wanted me to make some content for them, comparing the unique Typhoon H to the Phantom 4. So this is when the Phantom 4 first came out. They wanted me to test the obstacle avoidance and compare it, side by side. Obviously, the Phantom 4 won. But yeah, it was just a weird, but yet very intriguing, interesting time of my life. Just to think that I would have been living in China instead of here. How many things would have been different? I'm just imagining. And then kind of like the domino effect, it didn't work out with DJI, but it worked out with me staying here, focusing on my YouTube business, focusing on other brand partnerships and all that stuff. I also have a very interesting story with Zhiyun, or Juin, how I like to say it. That's the Chinese pronunciation. But we'll talk about that in another podcast. But I just wanted to share this story with you. I think it's interesting. And it'll just, maybe it might help you out with your future interviews too, because psychology, these interviewers ask some of these stupid ass questions, but these questions are what dictate whether or not you get accepted into their program or not. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. All right. As usual, I love talking to y'all. I'll see you in the next podcast. Peace.